Things are a bit quiet with the protest movement at this point. So let's continue our examination, exploration of what it is to change myself. Let's begin at the very beginning. Who is this I that I'm referring to? Who is this self? Don't I take myself as an indivisible I? All the changes, the contradictions, etc., but I'm still I. Why is that? One of the reasons, from early on, I was called my name, and I still am called my name everywhere I go, even in my sleep sometimes. Then besides that, there are my habits. We live in habits, don't we? If you've ever observed yourself to any extent, you'll see it's a life of habits, interrupted now and then with some shocks, expectations, some spontaneous actions and what have you. But basically, we live in habits, not only physically, but emotionally and mentally. Take physically. Did we really sit in the chair or sofa or wherever you are intentionally? Or did you just sit down? Well, what sat you down? Wasn't that habit? Wasn't that your moving center? Wasn't that what makes the body most comfortable? And beyond that, there's a general sensing of one's physicality. That can change up and down according to illness, vitality, what have you. But the sense of ourselves that we have usually remains constant, though we have very little sense of ourselves except when we're shocked, in fear, in desire. But mostly taking ourselves as this indivisible I, as we go through the stages of life, that begins to be our story, the story of I. And I'm talking about it to myself just about all the time. The inner radio keeps playing. The commentary about what's happening outside me is always referenced to what? To myself. And when I talk to others, what do I talk to them about? My story, how things are going or not going. Have a good day. Who's having a good day? And when others talk to me, what do they talk about? Essentially, their story. So we all live in a world of story. Is it any wonder that we're so addicted to stories in literature and now video games and cinema? It's just a transferring of the interest in story. Well, sometimes the story doesn't go so well. That means we have to polish it. That means we may have to admit certain things or omit things. And so it's an ongoing keeping up with the story. It changes, but not essentially, right? And so it is with everyone else, living in the story. But sometimes the story does not go so well. I'm really living the life of the I, unquestioned. But when things don't go well, I begin to question. Do I question the I, myself? Or do I question life, others? It's unfair. It's not justified. And that happens too when I'm attacked by other people. I blame. I historicize. It started back when. This is me, take it or leave it, and so forth and so on. So I'm still entrapped in the I. Things aren't going well in life, and it's life's fault. But wonder if I begin to examine the I that I take myself to be. If I really begin to question this, Question it from the point of view of being in the body, self-sensing, self-consciousness. Then being aware of my attention, when it's taken, when I'm identified, and so forth and so on, it will be known. And in knowing that, I will begin to know myself as I am and not as I imagine myself to be. If we don't, we live a life of suffering, incompletion, and meaninglessness.